For this Zentangle Quickie, we're going to take a look at the Tangle Moonrice from Ilonka Weerts. And I hope I pronounced that right. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher. And Moonrice is a border tangle or a line tangle, whichever way you want to refer to it. Or a ribbon tangle. I've heard it referred to that as well. So this one starts off with a pair of double lines. So we're going to draw one. And then essentially aura that. And a second one. I just feel like going on the diagonal today. All right, so once you have that, and now all of this can be, as wide or as narrow as you want. I think that these are nice, of course, on the narrow side, but it's all personal choice. The next step is a bunch of curved lines. Now, the one trick with this is you have to make the curve line high enough because we're going to crisscross them. All right, so I'm actually going to start right here. Is that where I want to start? Sure. Okay, I'm going to start right here and not going quite to the top. I'm trying to make it a nice curve. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do it this way, kind of on the side. Oh, I like that better. All right. Now, the trick is, I think I like that better. Now, the trick is we're flipping this over and we're doing the same thing on the other side. And I don't know if that's going to work or not. Let's see. So I'm going to start here. It's a matter of seeing also. I was debating, well, let's just try it. So I'm turning the tile so that way I get somewhat that natural curve that's from my hand. But the other thing when you're doing this flip side to make the tangle work extra well is to have... so this point, right where we're hitting that line, doing the same thing over on this one. So that's where you kind of want to have them lined up. They don't have to. I have an example at the end that I'll show you where they didn't. But it's one thing. I just wanted you to be cognizant of it. And then just kind of watching, going slow and keeping kind of this in your peripheral, so that way then you can somewhat line that up and then start fresh. The other thing, well, no, how was it doing that? I'm going to have to draw this one upside down. Yeah. There we go. And as I mentioned, because we want to have, this bit in the middle, you have to make your curve lines high enough so that way you have that bit in the middle. Sometimes we'll have the tendency to make them not so high, but just making sure that you do that. All right. Then... and that one turned out pretty good. All right. Honestly, that is essentially it. but before you click off of the video, the next step is actually to decorate. And in the description section, I do have my step outs. And to let you know, so there's always a variation, or not always. A lot of times there's variations on, whatever tangle. And if you can picture, without the set of double lines, you could do just, the insides and have that be the tangle. That was one of the things that she offered as the variation. So, and it looks really, really neat without it. But let me decorate it. I'm going to decorate it one way, and then I have an example of another way to decorate it. Basically the ones that I have there in the step outs. So a couple things. One is, let's aura, and if you are new to Zentangle, to aura is to basically outline, as you can see. Now what I'm trying to do is to be super careful, and my aim is to keep the same distance throughout, and also auraing, the curves. So just following the curves, trying to keep that same distance. And there we go. So I did the one side. I'm going to flip it and do the other side. And again, this is just a decorating idea. You don't have to do this, but there's something really cool about auraing. It just finishes it off really, really well. Oh, and actually, I'm going to do something different than I did in the step outs. So this is the first decoration option. Just suggestions. But what I did in on that one is I also oraed on the inside. And that was a lot smaller than this is, and it made it, you know, I got it done, but it made it a little bit more difficult. But I as I was doing it, I was thinking, wonder what it would look like if I didn't aura. So now I'm going to find out. So what I did in these round sections is I put some orbs in. So I'm going to start with a big orb in the middle, and then kind of going to the either side. Now, you know, when you do orbs like this, you could do like this, actually, because I kind of like tucked that one behind a little bit. That's an option. Or you can have it be a complete orb. And then, you know what, we're going to just color in those little triangle-y type of things, the little gaps that are naturally created when we put orbs next to each other. And, you know, and it's nice to start in the middle because... Actually, I kind of started this way. So as you notice, so these orbs, I'm kind of starting, now let me do a fresh one here. Okay, so right here. All right, so big orb, and then to either side, let's see, now I need to, sorry. It's always a good practice to have your tile aiming the right direction so that it's most comfortable for you to draw. And that's why I was flipping it around, because I was deciding which way it was that I wanted to, you know, what was feeling more comfortable. So as you see, so I started here and went around, and, you know, instead of making a complete orb, I just kind of made it, and it's kind of tucked in under here using the hollow bow technique. And let me flip it and do this side again so that way you can see. So kind of starting here, you know, finishing the orb, but not, you know, making it a complete orb outside of that. It's just kind of a neat way to do this. All right, and then again, just going to fill in those little gaps. And it looks kind of cool without having that extra, without having an extra aura. But, all right, and then if you get sloppy like this, the beauty of filling in is the built-in course correction, because there's no such thing as a mistake in Zentangle. So I'm just, you know, coloring in, making it go in, making that orb just a smidge smaller, so that way I can smooth out that whatever it is that I did. Sometimes I don't pick up the pen quick enough, and then you end up with a little streak type of thing. Okay, but that's how you can fix it. You know, I'll see, and right here is still kind of, let me just round that top a little bit. There we go. All right. Oh, and then here too. Okay. Then, let's see. Then let's aura the inside of this one though, because that's a neat combination. You know, so here's some ideas as I'm doing this. You could just aura, and then aura, and then aura. But this one, I'm going to... Oops, and it would be, that's what would be right here. This one, I'm going to do some straight lines. I'm going to do them different than I had done them in my step out, just because I can see what I did in my step out, and so can you. And sometimes it's fun to do something different as an example. So these are, I still had straight lines, they were just going the other direction. So that's kind of neat. Now, you could also, oh, you know what? That's what I'm going to do, because I was thinking it would look really neat. So you could leave the rails blank, or I'm going to put little S's. Oh, maybe I'm not. Okay, I will. As you can see, oh, you know what? The shading will take care of that. Not liking that as much as I thought I was going to. And you know what happens when you don't like something that you did? So I'm going to continue. It's really uneven. Nope, here's what we do. Is if you were good at doing those, I was picturing it looking kind of like rope, but it's just too uneven because it's too small. But because there's no such thing as a mistake in Zentangle, we just go, oh, hey, I'm going to see what it looks like if I cover it all up. Oh, I think this pen is, there we go. I think it is almost out. I've had this one for a long time. And it's always fun when it's like, oh, I've used it up. Neat. All right, so let's go to the other side and then come back to, I don't know why that's acting weird. This is also handy because like right there where it kind of dipped down, I can fix that right there. Nobody's the wiser. And you know what? That's just bugging me. Move to this Graphic 1 pen, which has a lot more ink in it. There we go. Just get that nice coverage. So if you are new to Zentangle, it's also nice. There are different thicknesses. Actually, what I was just using was an 8, but again, it was an old 8. And this is a Graphic 1. And I did want to do this right quick here. Because again, that course correction, we can just smooth things out, make them look all nice and neat. This one is a little bit thinner on this end, so let's see if we can't make it a little even. All right. And then it's just our secret. All right. So that's a fun way to decorate. Now let's do some shading. And so here's how I'm going to shade this one is I am just going to put some graphite all the way across. This might actually look, well, I don't know. We'll see. In the step out, I did the same thing, but I left that, those rails, as I'm calling them, not filled in, just as they were. And it does create a neat effect, but I'm sure that this is also going to create a neat effect. So now I'm just taking the tortillon and bringing it out just a little bit, not too much, when we're shading, especially because I'm just kind of shading really the whole area. You want to leave something of the natural tile color, so that way, so that it will create this roundness, and then you have that contrast, because that's our aim is for this contrast. And ooh, and that looks neat. Now, actually, let's try this. I'm going to add just a smidge of graphite on just the tops of these. And actually, the top of this. And I don't know why, but that's what I feel like doing. This part I know is going to look cool because that is something I did in the second example. Let's see. Oh, neat. So with that, I'm going to leave those like this, but I'm going to add some graphite just to that bottom because it looks so neat. Because then it makes it look rounded even in there. And also, whoops, let me flip it. Always put the point of your tortillon. Oh, and I'm picking up some paper. Oh. I hate it when that happens. Almost feel like this, maybe like the end of the tortillon is wet or something. From probably doing something up here where I had just worked, where it was a little bit wet. Okay. Oh, neat, neat. I like that. I don't want that little gap there, though. Yeah, so when we have that white in the center, actually, nope, I want it this direction because I had these like this, so that kind of like makes a shadow. I could probably do the other side as well. What the heck? We see what it looks like right now. It's just a trick of not doing too much, because if we do too much, then it's just all gray, and that defeats the purpose. So I'm just smudging out just a smidge, just to smudge it a bit. And anyway, and that looks really, really neat as I am looking in the camera here. All right, so here's the other one that I did. You know, kind of similar. And which way did I do? I think I did. Oh, I could probably use to add a little bit more here at the top. So this one, I just did it on the one side, so it's kind of neat. So it looks like it's, it makes it look like a neat shadow. And it's just a different effect. And then this one, instead of putting the graphite on the edge, I put it around, the insides, and then with the tortillon switched it out this way. But leaving some of the natural tile color for that contrast. So with that, this is a really fun tangle. It's simple, but has a lot of options, especially with the decorating part here. And I hope that you enjoyed it and that you will find this to be a useful border tangle. I mentioned the step out is in the description box, as well as ways to connect with me if you would like to. And also, if you enjoyed this, thumbs up are much appreciated. And if you liked it enough to maybe see more of my videos, would love to have you subscribe. And also hit the little bell that's next to it so that way you can see the options for your notifications. I mentioned on a couple other videos, I don't know if they made some changes recently, but I all of a sudden started getting pop-ups on my phone, and I'm like, what? Because I usually don't like those. And so I'm like, well, something changed. So I'm letting you know so that way you can just check and select the option that you want. And with that, I wish you very happy tangling.